Welcome back into the Swank Tank, episode 13 of the 2025 NFL season. I am your host, Ryan Swankowski, and we have another fantastic episode for you tonight or this morning. This episode's coming out late Monday night. If you're tuning in then, that's great. Tuesday morning, Tuesday afternoon, Wednesday morning, whenever it may be, as usual and as always, I appreciate you being here. I appreciate you tuning in. Please go follow on all of the socials at the Swank Tank everywhere. YouTube, hit that subscribe button. Spotify, want to leave a review, hit that follow button. That'd be great. TikTok, Instagram, all those places, all of those media accounts is at the Swank Tank. Go and leave a follow if you're not following already. Really appreciate you being here as always. Swank, what do we got to talk about today? Obviously, week 5 just happened. We have the Chiefs-Jags game going on literally right beside me to my right. What can we talk about this week? We're doing a whole week 5 review, but we're keeping that part relatively quick. That's going to be about just under half the episode. We got some big storylines I want to start diving into, especially on these Monday night episodes. First one, Cardinals disaster class. What has happened to the Arizona Cardinals? Not only against Tennessee, what has happened over the past 3 weeks? Started off 2-0, now moved to 2-3. We're going to break down what I believe is wrong with the Arizona Cardinals, not only from this Titans game, but from the last 3 weeks. Along with that, the Lions, Bills, and Eagles are all now tied up at 4-1 record-wise. Who's the best team of that 3? Is it the Bills? Is it the Eagles? Is it the Lions? Who is the second best? And who's the worst out of those 3 teams right now? Well, I'll break that down for you. After that, the NFL is so balanced this season. And why might that be? I speculate and I give you my take on why that is. We wrap it up with Swanks Banks, and that will round out the episode for episode 13. Appreciate you being here as always. Got some great ball to talk. Hopefully you won your fantasy matchups this week. I'm in 2 leagues, my 2 biggest entries, where I'm 5-0. Pretty crazy, I know. Our bets this week, so far we're 3-2. We need Chiefs money line as well to make it 4-2. Above 500 sitting at this moment. We'll get into how we did in week 5 straight up picks. Get to that here in a sec. But welcome into the Swank Tank. Always appreciate you being here. Without further ado, we're going to dive straight into this week 5 that just happened before us. All right, we're going to keep this week 5 recap a little bit quicker than usual. Usually, we take up the whole this Monday night or Tuesday morning episode with a full recap. We'll still be recapping every game, but we're going to keep it relatively quicker. We got some bigger storylines, some bigger things I want to get to in this one. So far from week 5, we are 6-7, our worst week by a mile on straight up picks, and I knew this would be that type of week where every game was either a complete blowout or very, very close. There was not a lot of in between whatsoever. And with that comes a lot of hard betting lines and a lot of hard picks to be made. Giants game, hard game to pick. Dolphins game, hard game to pick. And other ones, you got the Titans upsetting the Cardinals in a crazy fashion. Wild week. We're going to break it all down. I moved to 49-28 on the season and just straight up winners. Still pretty solid. Chiefs can make that 7-7 on the week and make that 50-28 on the season. We would take that. We will take that. It hasn't been the best week for straight up wins. That's okay. The Chiefs can move us to 500. Again, they're playing as I speak. We'll see what they can do against the Jacksonville Jaguars, who are wearing amazing uniforms right now. Their retros, their throwbacks should be their full times. They're so clean. Travis Hunter's rocking the breast cancer awareness mouthpiece. Bring back the pink. Bring it back. When the NFL would go full October breast cancer awareness month, elite times, elite vibes, they need to bring that back. But moving straight into week 5 here, 49ers move to 4-1 at the Rams. The Rams fall to 3-2. Niners win this one 26-23 in overtime. Mac Jones, what a performance. Not only from Mac Jones, but from Shanahan himself. Yes, absolutely. Shanahan has an unbelievable amount of credit already given to him, making Super Bowls, keeping this 49ers team afloat year in and year out when there's been so many injuries. Not only Purdy, but obviously McCaffrey missing a lot of time. Ayuk's not even back. Kittle's always in and out of the lineup. Jawan Jennings this year, in and out of the lineup. Last year, in and out of the lineup. Pearsall didn't even play in this game. Their entire offense, outside of McCaffrey, was injured. And what do? Divisional game on the road. They take over SoFi Stadium, and they get a 26-23 overtime win in amazing fashion. So what a win for Shanahan. What a win for Mac Jones. All credit given to both those guys. And, the Rams lost this game in a lot of different ways. The big one, obviously, is going for it on fourth down and overtime. Hindsight, you say, maybe you kick the field goal. In the moment, I completely agreed with the call. You're in your own building. You're kind of getting embarrassed, low-key, given how big of a favorite they were, given who's out for the Niners. I loved McVay's call to go for it. And it didn't work out. You draw up a good play. Maybe in McVay's eyes, it wasn't the best play, and he spoke about that post-game. But, you trust your best guys in the best moments. So would I have hit Puka there? Maybe so. But Kyren is a top 10 back in this league. And, yeah, he had the fumble earlier. Maybe you want to, put it back in his hands, see what he can do. Almost like a revive moment for him. But couldn't get it done. Niners with a huge stop. And what a big play as well. Kyren at the goal line, ball punched out, little peanut punch, keep the Rams out of the end zone. I mean, this game was a lot of fireworks, honestly. Niners started off hot, faded a little bit. Rams came back. Stafford played fantastic in this game, along with Mac Jones. It was a classic NFC West, thriller. And I mean, the NFC West always seems to be a close game. This season especially, because it's very, very competitive, with the Cardinals being at the bottom of that division, who are still a competitive team. A lot more to come on them later. I expect both these teams, Rams and 49ers, to make the playoffs. Mac Jones, though, something to note, should not be the starter. I made a video about this. People are chomping at the bit, saying, Mac Jones needs to start over Brock Purdy. I don't care if Brock Purdy's going to be healthy next week. Mac Jones needs to start. No. Pump the brakes. Mac Jones has done a fantastic job in his, I believe, 3 games coming in to start for this team. He's been great. But Brock Purdy is this leader. You paid Brock Purdy for a reason. Brock Purdy has led your team to a Super Bowl. Realistically, and this is what I asked in the video, do you see Mac Jones leading the 49ers to a Super Bowl? If you can say yes, more power to you. I cannot. Can I see Brock Purdy coming back healthy and leading this team to a Super Bowl? Yes. I want to make sure that credit is given to Mac Jones. He's played as well as any backup in the NFL can play. Truly. And he deserves all of that credit. Does he deserve to be the starter? At this moment in time, in my eyes, no. I think Purdy deserves to be the starter. He's the leader of the offense. Putting that to rest, putting that to bed. Kendrick Bourne for the Niners. 10 receptions, 142 yards. I mean, he was looking like a little Ayuk-ish out there. Maybe a little old Debo-ish for the 49ers. Career game for him. Big-time spot. Big-time moment for Kendrick Bourne when they needed him. Stafford, 3 TDs, like I mentioned. He played fantastic, like I said. 3 TDs for him in this game. The Niners, 0 turnovers compared to the Rams, 2 turnovers. And look who wins the game. The 49ers, the team that does not lose a turnover battle, wins the game. What a win for the Niners. What a win for Shanahan. What a win for Mac Jones. Niners move to 4-1. Rams fall to 4-2. Speaking of falling, London Bridge is falling down. That's an unbelievably goated transition. If I had a producer, I would tell him to clip that right then and there. But I am my own producer. So we'll just keep on rolling here. The Minnesota Vikings move to 3-2. The Browns fall to 1-4 in London. Vikings win 21-17. Honestly, pretty solid game. Obviously, it did not have the fireworks. It didn't have anything crazy special. There wasn't some unbelievable play. It was just a solid 8:30 a.m. football game. And Justin Jefferson, as we all know him to be, was the big piece here. 7 receptions, 123 yards for him. Did not find the end zone, but made a big-time impact in any which way possible, as he always does. Wentz, legacy game-winning drive. Did anybody see this by Carson Wentz? Was a little banged up in the second quarter. I believe it was like a little shoulder thing going on. Returned to the game. And Vikings down 3 when needed most. Got it done. Big drive from Wentz. Finding Jordan Addison in the end zone to get the go-ahead score. Addison, by the way, supposedly just strolling around London, doing his own thing. That's why he didn't play in the first quarter. Coach's decision, supposedly missed a team meeting, wandered off around London. You know what? Kind of respect. You travel all that way to go play the Browns. I would probably wander off too to go and see, a country I don't know if he's been to. Maybe they went there last year. I'm blanking on that. Jordan Addison comes up in the clutch after not playing basically all the first half. Game-winning touchdown from him. Wentz played solid. Don't believe he had any turnovers here. And Vikings just found a way to get it done. Dylan Gabriel on the other side of the ball in his first start. 19 of 33, 190 yards, 2 touchdowns, no turnovers. Browns fans, if you're out there listening to this, how are you feeling after Dylan Gabriel's first start? 190 yards, 2 touchdowns, no turnovers. What is your confidence level in Dylan Gabriel moving forward? Was this one game enough to give you confidence that he can lead your team moving forward on a this season basis? Don't think 3 years from now. Don't think 5 years from now. Don't even think about next season. Think right now. What are your thoughts on Dylan Gabriel? Rate his first start 1 to 10. Let me know. Judkins, 110 rushing yards. He's been a low-key a beast this season for the Browns. I believe he's still leading all rookies by a good amount in rushing yards. I mean, another 110 here. Something to note, though, and this has been the big theme all season, just flipped. The Browns won the turnover battle, 2-0, but lost. Of course the Browns would find a way to win the turnover battle and lose this game. Must need to win for Minnesota. They get it done. Both tight ends score for Cleveland. Gabriel looked fine. I mean, it was just, a solid, nothing crazy football game over there in London. Vikings get a big-time win in a much-needed spot. They win 21-17 and move to 3-2. Next game up, first one of the noon slate on my list. We'll keep this one pretty quick. The Raiders. Fall to 1-4. They scored 6 points. The Colts moved to 4-1. Let me rephrase here and give them their flowers. The first place Colts, not only in their division, the first place AFC Colts, your current number 1 seed, AFC Colts. That didn't check out. Your current, we're going to retry that. Number 1 seed in the AFC, Indianapolis Colts. Can you believe that? If I would have told you before the season Indiana Jones and the Indianapolis Colts are 4-1 and are first place in the entire AFC after week 5, what would you have said? Swank, are you on drugs? I am not. Indiana Jones might just be. He's playing that way. He's playing out of his mind. Colts defense as well. Colts win this game 40-6. Jonathan Taylor, is he in MVP conversations? He might just be. 3 touchdowns here in this game. We've only had like 68 rushing yards or whatever it was. Not a lot. Found Pater 3 times. Geno Smith, 2 interceptions as well in this game. Not a shocker. We touched on Geno last week. I mean, let's stick with the Colts here for a sec. Pure domination here as expected. Defense was flying all over. Blocked punt. Stopping them on third downs when needed. I mean, they were just strangling the Raiders. Brock Bowers didn't even play in this game, which was big. It was almost like a late scratch. He was questionable throughout the whole morning, didn't play. Their run defense was great. Genty had absolutely nothing going for him. I mean, Geno just looked flustered. They were all over the place. The Raiders. Let's take a look at the Raiders' drive charts and just them as a whole of this game. They had a punt that got blocked. They had a missed field goal. They had 2 interceptions, and they had a turnover on downs. That is 2025 Raiders football, unfortunately. And that is Geno Smith in 2025. He is getting paid $75 million for 2 years. He was traded for a high round pick. I believe it was the second, which is either a second or a third. And he just flat out needs to be playing better. There was question marks last week about Geno. There's even more question marks about this week revolving Geno. Will he get dealt at the trade deadline? Are they just going to take on the cap and take the cap hit? A lot of questions around Geno Smith and the Raiders right now. And if I'm a Raiders fan, obviously I'm not confident in Geno moving forward. big time question mark. And that's the biggest story coming out of the Raiders. Obviously, their offensive line's pretty terrible. Obviously, their defense has, outside of Max Crosby, nobody over there that is an impact player. Devin White's kind of having a good year, honestly, but outside of that, in Crosby, nobody. The Raiders are a disaster. Indiana Jones put up 2 tutties on them. Warren had a touchdown. I mean, there's not much else here to talk about besides the fact that Geno Smith is now in question to be benched or traded or cut. It is very much alive. It is very much in question. Your Colts are the number 1 team in the AFC. They win 40-6. Moving along this noon slate, the New York Giants, the Jackson Dart and Cam Scatterbo New York Giants fall and move to 1-4 to the New Orleans Saints, who get their first win of the season. Saints move to 1-4. Saints win 26-14. Spencer Rattler, 225 yards, 1 touchdown. The Giants, 5 straight turnovers. 5 of them. They started the game off strong with 2 touchdown drives, both of them to Theo Johnson, who I had in FanDuel. Here we go. Bang. Help me get a dub in FanDuel. That's what I'm talking about. DFS is so fun. Every Sunday is just amazing. Such a great time. And they start the game off so strong. 2 straight touchdowns. Okay, Giants are firing. Maybe this is kind of like a turnaround pivotal point to the season after that Chargers win. No. 5 straight drives later on in this game with a turnover. Completely unacceptable. And what did the Colts do? They didn't have to do much after creating 5 turnovers. They capitalized when they needed to. And did I say the Colts? Oh my gosh. The Saints. The Saints capitalized when they needed to. And that's really all she wrote here. I mean, I tell you the Giants turned the ball over 5 times. You know who wins this game. Simple. The Saints also had 2 missed field goals, but 2 huge plays. Shaheed, massive touchdown. It was like 83 or 87 yards. Huge touchdown there from Shaheed. 1 play. Another huge play. Fumble 6. Fumble, I believe it was by Scatterbo, picked up, returned all the way to the crib for a touchdown by the New Orleans Saints defense. All she wrote. 5 turnovers created, 2 big touchdowns on 2 huge plays for the New Orleans Saints. And Kellen Moore's first win as coach for the New Orleans Saints. Spencer Rattler's first win as a starter, which is wild. Take this stat. First win by a New Orleans Saints quarterback that was drafted by the organization since 1998. I'll say that one more time. First win by a New Orleans Saints quarterback that was drafted by the Saints since 1998. Drafted by the organization. Mind-blowing stat there. The Giants have hope for the future. That's apparent. But they very evidently have current issues that they're still needing to work out. It's rough, not only around the edges, just kind of all over for the New York Giants. I mean, if you're a Giants fan, you're still very hopeful about the future. Scatterbo and Dart, obviously. And, a solid defensive line. They got a lot of things to still figure out. The Saints, they're not playing for much already here in Week 5. But, hey, great win. Good win for Kellen Moore. And, it's a program. In college football, they say it's a program-defining win. This felt like that a little bit for the New Orleans Saints because they're not going anywhere this year, but it was in due time. Kellen Moore, first-year Saints head coach. Rattler never having a win yet as a starter, even though in some games he's deserved to have his first win. He's been playing a lot better than an 0-9, 0-10 quarterback has been. Good to see him get his first win. Good for Kellen Moore. Both these teams are sitting at 1-4, relatively lifeless. Giants, you like the future. The current day is rough. Saints, future doesn't look too bright at the moment, but hey, current day you're celebrating a win. So enjoy it. Saints win 26-14. Rolling along here, the Cowboys, the Dallas Cowboys. Here we go, 2-1. Dallas Cowboys at the Jets, who fall to 0-5. They beat the Jets 37-22. The score does not reflect how not close this game was. 15 is not even that close, but man, the Cowboys absolutely obliterated the New York Jets here. And on this show, on the Swank Tank, and as me, your host, I'm a guy that takes accountability. I like to own up to my actions, and I like to admit when I am wrong. And I was wrong. I predicted the New York Jets here to get a win. I was very much wrong. I want you to hear that. I had people on TikTok commenting it. I'm not hiding from it. I'm here admitting to it. I was wrong. Dallas fans, I'm sorry. I am sorry. Dak is playing absolutely out of his mind. I mean, pure Cowboys domination here. The Jets, first team to start 0-5, while also not having a single turnover created. The Jets they can't get any worse. They're at the very bottom. They're the only remaining all-beaten team in the NFL, only team that's 0-5 in the NFL, only winless team right now. And it's not even to be put on Fields. It's just an accumulative, poor team. And Aaron Glenn, as head coach, it's hard. It's just an interesting and difficult situation to navigate and to look at, honestly, because, they have talented players in Garrett Wilson and Breece Hall and even Fields at times, is a talented guy. Defensively, they've got some injuries and they got Gardner, they got McDonald. It's about it. This team just on all fronts is not talented enough and is not skilled enough to win games. Jets offensive line, not great, right? They have some skill positions, but not great. Jets secondary, outside of Sauce, who's not even playing that well this year, not great. They just can't put it fully together. And it's not looking good whatsoever for this New York Jets team. They could definitely get the first overall pick this year. Obviously, they're sitting at 0-5, so right now they would get that. And not a single turnover created in 5 games is ridiculous. It's sad. Just Jets fans are so down in the dumps. I don't even want to keep going deeper into their season. It's over and it's sad. Dak, 237 yards here, 4 touchdowns. He's playing out of his freaking mind. He's in the MVP talk, sitting right there with both Josh Allen and, yes, Baker Mayfield. We'll talk about that here in a little bit. Dak, playing phenomenal football. Fields on the flip side. He had 283 and 2 touchdowns. He's been playing, not terrible. He's been playing okay. He's been playing enough winning football to where the Jets should at least have a win. But at this moment in time, they do not. Cowboys led 23-3 at halftime, and they had several pieces out. Lamb didn't play in this game. Several O-line pieces out of this game as well. Cowboys defense, 5 sacks. Jets are just terrible, and they're 0-5, and there's really not much else to be said. You got to give Aaron Glenn a little bit of leeway and slack, being, first-time head coach with this really raw and overall sloppy Jets team. We'll see if they can get his first win here in the next few weeks, but God knows. It just yikes for the New York Jets. Cowboys moved to 2-1. Defense played great. If you're a Cowboys fan, that's your obviously best game of the season. Dominant on both fronts, complete control of the game. Dak played fantastic. You didn't even have Lamb. Defense had 5 sacks. Kudos to the kudos to the Dallas Cowboys. Great win. They moved to 2-1. Jets fall to 0-5. Next game up. And I just got to lead by saying, I told you this was going to happen. I take the blame when I'm wrong, but I also take a lot of credit when I'm right. The Denver Broncos defeat the Philadelphia Eagles. Broncos move to 3-2. Eagles move to 4-1. First loss of the season. Broncos win 21-17. Bo Nix, solid game, nothing crazy. That's what Bo Nix does this year so far. 242 yards and 1 tutty. Jalen Hurts, 280 yards in the air and 2 touchdowns. Biggest piece of information and statistical data here. Saquon Barkley had how many carries? I'll give you a hint. I can almost count it on one hand. I'll put up a 5 for you, for those watching, and I'll throw in a thumb. 6. Saquon Barkley, the NFL's leading rusher last year, one of the best running backs in the NFL, one of the best players in the NFL, one of the best athletes in the NFL, got 6 carries. I don't care what defense you're playing. I don't care if you've got a freaking all-star quarterback, Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes back there that you say throw the ball 60 times. I do not care about anything else besides the fact that your best player, a top 5 offensive player in the NFL, is being given 6 carries. It's completely unacceptable. And it goes a lot against this Philadelphia identity they established last season. We're going to talk more about the Eagles later on. We debate Lions, Bills, Eagles. Who's the best of those three teams? Let's shift gears to the wide receiver room. A.J. Brown, 5 catches for 43 yards. Are you kidding me? More to come on him later as well. Let's go with the winners. Dobbins, 99 yards and a touchdown. Great free agency signing here by the Denver Broncos. He's played fantastic. I believe he's got 4 tutties now in 5 games. And Dobbins has just been solid. He's staying healthy. He's running the rock well. One of the best pickups so far in free agency across the league was J.K. Dobbins for the Denver Broncos. So he's been playing well. He's playing solid. Knicks in this game, like I said, played solid, 242 and a tutty. I mean, the Eagles led this game 17-3. And what'd they do? Similar to the Bucs game, even though they won that game, similar to other games, not the Rams game, but other games, they get this little lead and they completely stall. And Sean Payton's been around the block too many times to where he knows a thing or two about coming back from deficits. He understands halftime adjustments. He understands he's been a coach way too long in this league. You give Sean Payton enough time with this offense and, pieces like Sutton and Dobbins and Nicks, he'll find a way to come back, and he did. Eagles blow the 14-point lead. Sean Payton, they get the touchdown down 1 late in the 4th. Sean Payton goes for 2 and gets it to take the lead and get the W. Huge win here and huge upset for the Denver Broncos, whose defense is absolutely elite. Nick Bonita was flying all over the field. They had 6 sacks in this game. We're going to touch on the Eagles more later in the episode. Huge win for Denver. Season-defining win for the Denver Broncos. I called this one. I won money off this one. Broncos move to 3-2. Eagles fall to 4-1. Keeping it absolutely rolling here for this Week 5 slate. The Miami Dolphins at the Carolina Panthers. Dolphins fall to 1-4. Panthers win this game, move to 2-3. Panthers comeback win. Final score 27-24. Bryce Young, 198 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 turnovers for Bryce. Tua, 256 passing yards and 3 touchdowns. No interceptions. He played clean. He played his best game of the season, and sadly, it was not enough. Panthers, Rico Dowdle, ex-Cowboy Rico Dowdle, backup running back to Chuba Hubbard Rico Dowdle. 206 rushing yards along with a touchdown. Believe he led all fantasy players this week, if I'm not mistaken. At least he was right there, I think, with maybe McCaffrey. And, wow. Just wow. The Carolina Panthers scrap back. And last week I mentioned that I picked the Dolphins because the Panthers were lifeless. I needed to see some form of life. And this game started off so poorly for them. Bryce Young with a terrible turnover, at the start of this game. And I think he had both, actually, at the start of this game. They looked absolutely dead. And Bryce Young brought him back and revived him. Xavier Legette finally found Pater. He looked a little bit revived. Dave Canales and his Panthers team looked revived. Dowdle provided a huge pop and spark to this offense. It was like a switch was flipped. And it was like a new team out there. Basically come late second quarter or really going into the third quarter. So, big win here for the Panthers. Dolphins didn't turn the ball over and still lost. This was the dagger to the Dolphins season. I mean, we all knew they weren't really going anywhere anyways, but to be up, to get an early lead, to be playing solid, and then to have the Carolina Panthers come back in the way they did, heart-wrenching, gutting loss here for the Dolphins, and a really huge win for the Carolina Panthers, showing that they still have that fight, they still have the belief that they can maybe try to, put some more pieces together and put together a solid season here. So, Panthers 2 touchdowns in the fourth quarter, huge win for Carolina here. Dolphins are dead. Finally saw that spark from Carolina. A-Chain only had 16 rushing yards, and they had 19 yards rushing total on the game. How are you going to win a game running the ball for 19 total yards? The hint is you won't. You can't. Usually, you won't. Carolina, major win here. They move to 2-3. Dolphins fall to 1-4. Keeping on chugging here in this Week 5 slate, the Houston Texans go into Baltimore and defeat the Ravens 44-10. Texans move to 2-3 in a much-needed win. Ravens fall to 1-4. Oh, man. The Baltimore Ravens, at this moment in time, are a bottom 5 NFL team. Imagine I told you that 5 weeks ago. I would have said you are freaking nuts, bonkers, out of your mind. I mean, 1-4 Baltimore Ravens. Let's start right here with the winners. Stroud, 244 yards, 4 touchdowns, no picks. Best game of the season by a mile. C.J. Stroud looks back, ladies and gentlemen. He looks comfortable now. The offensive line past 2 weeks has really been holding up solid. And just over the past 2 weeks, this team looks completely different. They found that spark. They found that momentum they needed against that Tennessee Titans in that get-back game. They came out here and looked like they did not miss a beat from last week. Stroud played almost perfect. Nico Collins got involved. Xavier Hutchinson, 2 touchdowns. Little combo punch, 1-2. Woody Marks, Nick Chubb. I mean, they just played the lights out. Their defense is unbelievable. Number 1 defense in terms of points given up this season. Only gave up to 10 points to Derrick Henry and Cooper Rush. The Ravens. I mean, let's be real. Half of the Baltimore Ravens played this game. They were missing so many starters. Lamar Jackson, Stanley, Ricard, Humphrey, Hamilton, Awuzie. I mean, they were missing so many key pieces. And it was so evident. Derrick Henry, maybe him and Andrews and Flowers, the 3 guys that started this game that were not hurt. Derrick Henry, though, 33 rushing yards total. He usually eats against the Houston Texans. This game, that did not happen. Henry goes for 33 rush yards. The Ravens are just a disaster right now. And it's not going to get much easier. They have to play the Rams next week. I believe it's in Baltimore, but they got to play the Rams next week. We'll see if they get healthier. But get this. The Baltimore Ravens are still favored to win the AFC North. They sit at 1-4. They sit at the bottom of the division. Second to bottom, I believe. They're 1-4, looking absolutely lifeless and still very much injured. And they're still favored to win the division. Are you taking Baltimore to still win this division? If you are, kudos. They could. Do not get me wrong. They could. But it's going to take a lot. Because they got the Rams coming into town this week. They're not beating them. They're going to fall to 1-5. They're going to be 1-5 going into the bye. Can they really essentially win out the rest of the season? I mean, do you see the Ravens going 10-7 this season if they start 1-5? Maybe. If they get fully healthy and figure out everything on defense, their defense is atrocious. It's bottom 3. It's horrific. It might be the worst in the NFL. Dallas defense played much better this week. Ravens defense has been horrible. Rush in this game had 3 picks. I mean, the Texans completely blew the doors off them. Much needed W here for the Texans, both physically and mentally. They now go into the bye with a lot of momentum. Ravens are just completely freaking dead right now. And if they're playing a bad team next week, maybe they can get it done. But if they get the Rams coming in, they're going to fall to 1-5. Texans, big win. Let's keep it rolling. Titans at Cardinals. Titans' first win of the season. They win 22-21. Cardinals fall to 2-3. Titans move to 1-4. Cam Ward, 265 yards here, 1 interception. The Arizona Cardinals. There's a lot to be said about the Arizona Cardinals. And we have a big segment on them after we're finished, reviewing all of Week 5. Cardinals, 3 fumbles in this game. And man, these were the worst fumbles you've ever seen in your life. Like the 3 worst possible fumbles you could even fathom to happen on a football field. They were that bad. One of them, Kyler Murray's getting ready to take a snap, kind of looking around, not fully ready, but, getting ready to take one. Oh, snap ball, boink, hits him right in the face. Then what happens? He leaves the game for maybe to get checked for a concussion. So not only did the snap hit Kyler Murray straight in the face and the Titans get the ball, he then gets checked out for a concussion, or what looked like potentially one. That's one of the fumbles. The biggest fumble of the game came when DeMarcado broke off a huge run, over 70-plus yards, I believe. And apparently, and it was close, but apparently, dropped the ball before entering the end zone. Have we not learned our lesson, ladies and gentlemen? Just hold on to the ball, run through the back of the end zone, go into the crowd, and then let go of the football. What are you doing? Turnover on downs, touchback through the end zone, Titans ball. There goes that touchdown away. Stupidity, ridiculousness, and that's who the Cardinals have been so far the past 3 games. Again, going to go deeper into it here in a few minutes. The third one, they pick off Cam Ward. Then what happens? They fumble it. Then what happens? It gets kicked around. Then what happens? Tyler Lockett falls in it in the end zone. Touchdown, Tennessee. You can't draw it up any worse for the Arizona Cardinals. The Titans then later in the game get a go-ahead touchdown from Pollard. Or, that was before the interception and fumble. They get the touchdown from Pollard, then the interception that was then fumbled, that was then in the end zone, and then recovered by Lockett for a touchdown. I mean, absolute disaster here by the Arizona Cardinals. Tennessee finds a way to win. Cardinals have not been able to close the door all season. Can't do it here. Disaster. Titans win 22-21. Moving on to a much better game here in terms of actual football. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers moved to 4-1 and defeat the Seattle Seahawks, who now fall to 3-2. Bucs win 38-35. What a game this was. I'll take ownership here. I did not expect the Bucs to come out this hot and heavy. With no Bucky Irving, with no Mike Evans, I was a little worried that they'd be almost out of gas. Apparently, this team is all gas, no brakes. They continue to scrap away wins against very solid and competitive teams. They've had one of the hardest schedules starting this year so far. They've played Philly. They just played the Seahawks on the road. And they've had a top 10 tough schedule, I believe, to start the year. I know they played the Jets, but, they're, whatever. But they continue. The Texans are a solid team on the road. They continue to scrap and find ways to win. And just when you think, maybe one game they might be out of gas, which I thought this game, they're not. 889 total yards in this game. Seattle had 2 turnovers to the Bucs, 0. And look who wins the game. Ohio State wide receivers in this game. JSN and Emeka Egbuka. Have you heard Rob Gronkowski, by the way, try to pronunciate his name? He goes, Emeka Egbuka. He just can't pronounce it. Egbuka, JSN in this game combined for 2 tutties. 295 yards themselves. Darnold, 4 touchdowns in this game. But, big pause for emphasis here. But, then what? Interception. And yeah, it hit off, a defensive player's helmet, a defensive lineman's helmet. It kind of grazed it, changed the trajectory. I mean, Darnold threw the ball, so he put it there. Darnold with a costly interception in this game after playing so almost perfect in this football game. Huge interception after 4 straight Seattle touchdowns. They scored on 4 touchdowns on 4 straight drives, then turned the ball over when you can least turn the ball over on their own half of the field. Bucs hit the ball off the turnover, field goal, ball game over. Milroe, by the way, got a snap in this game, and what'd he do? Threw a bad pitch, fumble. I don't mind bringing Jalen Milroe in for a snap or 2 here or there. Don't let this guy pitch the ball. Don't let this guy throw the ball. Keep it in his freaking hands. I get it. It was probably an option. It looked like one to the left. Keep the ball in his hands. It's a rookie out there at the end of the day. Keep the ball in his hands. Bucs, yet again, find a way to win in thrilling fashion. Baker Mayfield, question mark here. Is he in MVP talks? The answer is yes. Yes, he is. Baker's playing phenomenal football. He's right there with Dak and Josh Allen in my mind for the 3 MVP talk guys. Daniel Jones also near that talk. Jonathan Taylor also near that talk. Let me ask you right now. Here's a big question for you. My question probably of the day, of this episode. Right now, you can have one of these 2 quarterbacks. Who are you taking? Baker Mayfield or Dak Prescott? Let me know your thoughts. Right now, you're starting a team. Based off what you've seen this season, or however you want to interpret this, Who are you taking? Dak Prescott or Baker Mayfield to lead your team? I don't think there's necessarily a wrong answer here. I'm just curious which one you would take right now. Let me know. Bucs get the win. Huge win on the road in Seattle, 38-35. All right, 3 games left here to discuss. Again, Chiefs at Jags going on as we speak. We'll recap that on Thursday morning's episode. Don't want to miss that one as well, along with the others. Lions at Bengals. Lions moved to 4-1. Bengals moved to 2-3. This one's going to be quick. Lions win 37-24. Goff, 258 yards, 3 TDs, and a fumble. Browning, 251 yards, 3 touchdowns. Yippee, woohoo, and 3 picks. Womp womp. Nothing new there. Jamar Chase at one point in this game led the Bengals in tackles. That's the big one here. The what stat? The what did you just say, Swank stat? Jamar Chase led the Bengals in tackles at one point in this game. Browning also led the team in rushing yards. You're telling me the Cincinnati Bengals had Jamar Chase leading the team in tackles and Jake Browning at the end of this game led the team in rushing yards? It almost leaves me speechless. Oh my gosh. The Cincinnati Bengals, man, are just... They are leaving me speechless. I don't even know what to say about them anymore. But Zach Taylor came out and said they're, looking at all options, as every head coach would say in this scenario. At the quarterback position, I've been saying for 3 weeks and they need to make a trade. Maybe they'll listen to the Swank Tank. Zach Taylor, are you an avid listener of the Swank Tank? You might want to tune in, buddy. Because I think Jameis or Kirk Cousins would love to make a little appearance down here. Hell, why not Joe Flacco? Anybody at this point. Jake Browning is capable of scoring. Jake Browning is not capable of winning because he turns the ball over 30 times a game. Oh, and he somehow led the team in rushing this game. Oh, because you have no O-line. I'm so glad I faded Chase Brown this season in fantasy. Thank God. Listened to my gut. Faded them in every league. Montgomery, rushing touchdown and passing touchdown in this game. Lions led 28-3 going into the fourth. Pure freaking domination from Dan Campbell and the Detroit Lions. Are they the best team in the NFC right now? We'll touch on them here soon. Lions win 37-24. Last game here of the 3 o'clock slate. The Commanders, the Commies, move to 3-2, defeat the Chargers, who fall to 3-2. Commanders win 27-10. Jaden Daniels, 231 yards, 1 touchdown. JCM, Big Bill, 111 yards rushing, 2 touchdowns, his best game of the season. He had a fumble in there. That's okay, though. Didn't matter much in the end result. Justin Herbert, 166 yards, 1 touchdown, and 1 interception. Not great for the LA Chargers. You lose to the Giants. Yikes. The NFL. Brush it off. Okay. At home against the Commanders. You're up 10-0. And honestly, it feels like the Chargers really can't get out of their own way from the past 2 games. Herbert in this game had a crucial interception in the red zone. McConkey had a punt return for a touchdown that got called back due to roughing the punter in the Giants game. Really couldn't get out of their own way with, to Herbert, I believe, having two turnovers or 2 picks, whatever it was. The Giants, the Chargers, seemingly are just kind of making these small, non-Harbaugh-like mistakes that are costing them these games, honestly. And they've looked flat. They've looked pretty flat the past 7 quarters of football. And when you look flat in this league, there's no time, usually to make adjustments super fast. And you're seeing that here with the LA Chargers. If you come out flat, you're probably going to lose, unless you're the Panthers in week 5. You're probably going to lose. And that's what happened here with the Chargers. I mean, Herbert led the team in rush yards with 60. Hampton put on IR. Harris is out for season. Najee, he's out for season. Hampton put on IR for at least 4 games now. Hassan Haskins is up next. So not only do you lose Joe Alt, not only do you lose Rashawn Slater for the season, Joe Alt may be coming back in 2 weeks or so. You lose Harris. You lose Hampton for 4 games. They're getting dinged up at a very rough time because this team was 3-0, looking at a potential Super Bowl hopeful. They fall to 3-2, and now you're thinking, can they make the wild card? Can they remain competitive in the AFC West? That's what it feels like right now for the LA Chargers, and it's not good. Commanders had 27 unanswered points in this game. Again, they had that big red zone interception off Herbert. Chargers had a touchdown finally for Ladd McConkey. He finally found the end zone, and that punt return was a crucial callback. Quentin Johnson, big fumble. That's prime. Quentin Johnson right there. Chargers really hurt themselves here in this one with, crucial interception, punt return, callback. Johnson with a fumble. Again, the Chargers are really just hindering themselves. Commanders took advantage of it. Daniels looked very comfortable. He played a very solid game. Debo's having a really, really solid season. Top 10, I believe, in yards. He's playing fantastic. And this team just won by 17 on the road at LA without Terry McLaurin. The Commanders are dangerous. When they're healthy, they're dangerous. And even without McLaurin, they're dangerous. Jaden Daniels look great. Commanders win 27-10. Last game here of the slate, Sunday Night Football. The New England Patriots winning 23-20. They move to 3-2. The Bills fall to 4-1. The Bills' first L of the season. Drake May, 273 yards and some clutch plays that go along with it. Josh Allen, 253 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 turnovers, and the past 3 games we've touched on, the quarterback has led the team in rush yards. What happened here? He led the team in rush yards. Josh Allen, 53 rush yards, leads the team. Going back to New England here. Diggs, 10 receptions for 146 yards. Showing out for Cardi B. All right, Stephon. A little prime Stephon Diggs. A little return to Buffalo Stephon Diggs. Attaboy. Attaboy Stephon. He looked great out there. Sadly for New England, Antonio Gibson out for season with a torn ACL. Stevenson had another freaking fumble. Yet he found the end zone twice. Mike Vrabel said they need his skill set, so he's going to keep seeing reps, but my God, he's got to stop fumbling the football. With Antonio Gibson sadly out for the season, speedy recovery to him. Every week I come on here and say Henderson has to be getting more reps. Look what happened this past game. Gibson out for season now. Stevenson, another fumble. Henderson at this point needs to be getting more reps. He has to. Vrabel has no other choice to give him more reps. Feed this man. Give him opportunities to shine. Hopefully we see it next week. If they don't have a bye. I don't believe they have a bye. So hopefully we see it next week. Patriots just played good, clean, sound football. Drake May, again, was clutch when needed to be. Christian Gonzalez was back here in this game, made a huge impact. Borregales here, game winner from 52 to win the game for the New England Patriots. He got some swag, by the way. The tats, the sleeves. He's got it all. The 52-yarder he made might have been good from like 75, right down the pipe. I mean, it had an unbelievable amount of lag. Almost went over the freaking net. I mean, he was feeling it. Game-winning kick. Huge win. Huge win for the New England Patriots. A season-defining win for them. Saying, hey, we can maybe mess around here and somehow win the AFC East. It is very much alive, very much possible for the Bills. In the offseason, I talked about how dangerous sticking here in New England, I talked about how dangerous this New England team could be. I said they could go 10-7, maybe 11-6, and make the playoffs. I said that in my preseason episode. Go back and take a peek if you want. It's there. They showed that this game. And I'm glad that you can at least see what I was referring to. They may not do it. They may not go 10-7 or 11-6, but you could see the promise. Mike Vrabel just does that wherever he goes. He's a team, a player coach, and he's a team-first guy, unselfish, a culture guy. That's who Mike Vrabel is. And you could feel that with this young Patriots team. They're not going to win every game. They're not going to go on this crazy streak, but they're a solid team that has a young core that has looked very promising. And this is a phenomenal, fantastic win for them. And they're dangerous. They're dangerous. Buffalo, you're not going to go 17-0. Not going to happen. You lose by 3 at home. You lose a turnover battle. Tough loss at home, but they'll be okay. New England wins 23-20. That was your quick Week 5 NFL recap. Again, Jags and Chiefs playing as we speak. As I'm recording this, we'll touch on them on Thursday. But That was your quick Week 5 NFL recap. Every game. What a Week 5 it was. Every week has just been fantastic. This season's been very competitive. We're going to wrap up the show in talking about that. But right now, I want to jump into something else. And we're going to talk here about the Arizona Cardinals. Cardinals disaster. What is wrong with Arizona? That is this segment here. Let's dive straight into this. 3 straight losses for the Arizona Cardinals. They started off 2-0. They now fall to 2-3. And every single loss for them has been on a last-second score. A last-second field goal. All 3. 49ers, last-second field goal. This past game, obviously against the Titans, last-second field goal. Seahawks, last-second field goal, right? This team has been so frustrating the past 3 weeks to watch. And going back to week 1, and I said it throughout week 2, week 3, week 4, and onward, was that their biggest problem, the Arizona Cardinals, their biggest worry here was that they can never close the door when they need to. That separates good teams from great teams. Being able to be clutch and close the door. And the Cardinals all season long have shown they cannot do that. They're missing that clutch gene. Is really what it seems to be. Against the 49ers, needed 1 first down to put the game away, couldn't get it. Seahawks game was a little bit of a different story. Was down 20-6 in the 4th, came all the way back, tied it up 20-20, but then what? Kickoff, went short of the landing zone. You give Seattle and Darnold too much time and too good a field position. All they needed was 20 yards. They go down there and get it. Field goal, wins the game, game over. Titans game, we all know what happened there this past weekend. Just idiotic plays left and right, and yet they still had a chance to put the game away. They got the ball back with the lead and could not put the game away. They made the Titans burn all their timeouts. 1 first down wins the game, seals the game, similar to 49ers. Couldn't do it. The past 3 weeks, it's been basically the same story for the Cardinals, not being able to close the door. The only turnover battle they've won in those 3 games, by the way, is the 49ers game, and I think they barely won it. They won by, I think, 1 turnover there. That's been a small issue for them. The 2 biggest problems, though, for the Arizona Cardinals over this 3-game losing streak. Number 1, they can't run the ball when they need to, right? So, obviously, they leave the door open. This bleeds into they can't run the ball when they need to. And number 2, lack of experienced winners on this team. Outside of DeMarco's long run, sticking here with that first point about they can't run the ball when they need to, they have combined 174 rush yards from the running backs over the past 3 games. Total, 174 rushing yards. Total from the running backs over the past 3 games. That's completely unacceptable. That's less than 60 per game on average. Just can't happen. You can't expect to win games when you're averaging less than 60 rush yards by your running backs over a 3-game stretch. Yes, Kyler Murray plays into your running game. I get that. The lack of run game for a team built like the Arizona Cardinals, for a team that's built to be competitive and potentially win these games and close the door, their inability to run the ball consistently, and again, James Conner has a doing with that. Trey Benson has a doing with that. I get it. But when you're looking at the 3-game losing streak, that's been one of the glaring issues here is that the running backs cannot get going. Outside of that DeMarco long run, right? If you exclude that, they're averaging less than 60 rushing yards a game by running backs. Big glaring issue there. Moving to the second point. Let's go back to 2019. Kyler Murray drafted first overall in the 2019 NFL Draft. Since that time, they've had 1 winning season, and that was in 2021, and 1 playoff appearance, and that was also in 2021, when they got blown out in the wild card to the Rams. So 2019, Kyler comes in. Since then, he's now in year 6 with them, 2025 season. They've made the playoffs once. They've had a winning season once. They're on pace this year to also not have a winning season. Marvin Harrison is in year 2. Looking around at the rest of the offense, Michael Carter, he's from the Jets. Is that a winning culture? Hell no. Not even close to it. DeMarco was a 2023 free agent brought in the year 2023. Free agent. Not like he comes from some bona fide winning program, winning team. No. 2023 free agent. Trey McBride, 2022 second round pick. Okay, so entering his 3rd year, or 4th year, whatever it is, from Colorado State. Okay. Defensively, they have Josh Sweat and Calais Campbell, two veteran leaders that has helped this, defense be relatively solid. The Cardinals defense has not been the main problem for them this season, right? I touched on how they can't close the door. The big two problems for them, one, not being able to rush the ball effectively without James Conner, and two, they don't have that winning leadership or mentality on this team. Defensively, like I just mentioned, they have Sweat, they have Calais Campbell, which is good. And Budda Baker's been there for now his 9th season. There's veterans on that defense. Offensively, though, it's apparent there is no true leader on that offense. It's supposed to be Kyler Murray. It's not. Could it be Marvin Harrison Jr.? With the way he's playing this season, at least through the first 4 weeks, it hasn't been, and it's not. Overall, the big problem with the Arizona Cardinals is that they need a veteran offensive leader. Kyler has shown that he is not that. And going in, this is his 6th season with them. He's been in and out of the lineup, been injured. He's only made the playoffs one time with this team. He's had a winning record one time with this team. Kyler Murray has not shown that he can be the full-on, blown, trustable, clutch leader of this Arizona Cardinals team. And I think that's the biggest issue, is that they're lacking a veteran leader on the offensive side of the ball. Obviously, can't close the door. Obviously, have had issues in the running game since James Conner left. Or obviously didn't leave, but got injured. With him gone, I think it's a bigger piece than people have really realized, that James Conner maybe was that veteran leader that helped keep this Arizona Cardinal team together on the offensive side of the ball. He's been in the league a good while, and he's had success year in and year out in this league. When he was on the Steelers, he had success with Tomlin, and he come over and he brought that kind of sophistication and veteran leadership that I really think this Cardinals offense is lacking. And it's a big blow that he's out for the season. Tough loss for them. And since he's been out, he got injured in that 49ers game. They are 0-3 since his injury. Encompassing this all, look what's happened to the Arizona Cardinals when James Conner went down. Two big factors. The run game has been, for the most part, not there. Especially when needed to close the door, it's not been there. And two, where's the veteran leader? Where is it on the offensive side of the football? It's because it's not Marvin Harrison right now. He's not vocal like that. Trey McBride's a great player, but are tight ends usually locker room leaders? Very rarely. I mean, their backfield is DeMercado, free agent. Michael Carter, came from the Jets. And, you're missing James Conner. He's been a veteran in this league. You've seen what it's like to win games. I really think the James Conner loss has been a bigger significance and a bigger loss than people have really realized in the NFL. Fans, at least, have realized. The Cardinals, it's been a major blow to them, and that's my analysis of the Arizona Cardinals. They lack a true veteran leader on that offense, and that's what's really come to bite them, along with, sprinkling in not being able to close out games and not being able to effectively run the ball when needed to. And that all, encompasses James Conner being out on the offensive side of the football. That's what I think's wrong with the Cardinals. Let's now transition over. A little bit of a more lighthearted-ish conversation. The best team in the NFL between the Bills, Lions, and Eagles. Who is it? I ask you. Of those three teams I just named, all three of them are 4-1. Which team is the best in your mind right now? Let me know your answer on social media. I'm probably going to clip this up. Drop your answer below. They're all 4-1 in the year. Who's the best of the three right now? / of the three, who do you feel most confident in? We'll just start with number one. Of these three teams, I have the Lions at my number one. In ranking these three teams, I'm the most confident, and I think that of these three teams, the best team is the Detroit Lions. Hard game in Lambeau to start the season. Took the L. There were question marks. Ben Johnson's gone, and Aaron Glenn's gone. What does this team look like? Do they have an identity? Those were questions asked already about after week one, even by myself. Since then, they've outscored their opponents 161-85. Jared Goff, since week one, 11-1 touchdown interception ratio. The offense has been firing on all cylinders. You got Montgomery out there throwing touchdown passes. You got Sonic and Knuckles running for freaking 300 yards in one game. I mean, it is firing on all cylinders. Lions, turnover-wise, they've turned the ball over just 3 times total in 5 games, while they've forced 9 turnovers in those 5 games. They have a +6 turnover differential. Offensive coordinator John Morton, defensive coordinator Calvin Shepard deserve their flowers. Coming in, first-time OC, first-time DC, and making a huge impact for this Lions team. They've been stellar, especially over the past 4 weeks, in regrouping this Lions team and putting together a ton of their talent that they have. Kudos to them. Some blows for the Lions, though. Terran Arnold out for significant time, according to Dan Campbell. Shoulder injury. DJ Reed, hamstring, out for a long time as well. We'll see when, if they come back. I believe Reed will. Arnold, I don't know. Big losses for that defenses, or for the defense. But the way Goff and company on that offensive side of the ball, with Morton calling the plays, are playing, they can give up 24, 27 a game and still win every single one of those games. That's how well they've been playing. Again, outscoring opponents since week 1, 161-85. Yes, they have played, not amazing teams. But in the NFL, you take the wins you can get and you don't look back. The Detroit Lions right now, to me, are the best team in the NFC. To me, they're the best team in the NFL. The way they're playing as we speak, yes, defensively, there's still a little bit of hindrance, and they've got 2 key injuries in the secondary. But the way the offense is playing, they look unstoppable from the offensive side of the ball. Jaguars just scored a touchdown there. Just tied the game up in the third quarter, 14-14, I think, 13-14. Trevor Lawrence, a little rushing tutty. Very nice. I have the Lions as the number 1 team of these 3 and in the NFL as we speak, this moment. Number 2 of these 3 teams, I have the Buffalo Bills at number 2. Tough loss to New England, but are still the best team in the AFC? That's a question mark. I ask you, are they the best team in the AFC? In my eyes, yes. They still are. It's a tough loss for them, but it's not a worrisome loss. The Eagles had a worrisome loss in my eyes. We're going to touch on them here in one sec. Bills are the number 2 of these 3 teams that I'm ranking. They've beaten the Ravens, the Dolphins, the Jets, and the Saints. So I just mentioned with the Lions, you take the wins you can get, you don't look back, right? You don't create your own schedule. You win the games ahead of you, and you don't worry about it afterwards. I mean, that's just how it goes. But let's just take a closer look at the teams they've beaten here, just to look at it. Those combined teams, between the Ravens, Dolphins, Jets, and Saints, have 3 wins all season. 3. Believe they're 3-17. Make of that what you will. Just had to bring it to light. You take the wins, right? Similar to the Lions, but man, have they played nobody remotely good. Not even close to good. Let me rephrase. They haven't beaten anybody remotely good. I'm not saying that as an excuse to put them behind the Lions. It's just something to bring up because this was their first true test, and it was in their own building, and they lost. I mean, you gotta bring it up. You gotta bring that to light here. And for their first games, so they've played 5 games, 4 of them have been at home. They got some road games coming up. They got some tough road games coming up on their schedule. It's an interesting time here for the Buffalo Bills. Obviously, I still have a ton of faith in them. I still think they're the best team in the AFC. I still think they're one of the best teams in the NFL. But New England was their first real team, honestly, and real defense that they've played all year. And the New England Patriots forced 3 turnovers on Josh Allen and the Bills. Cook only had 49 rushing yards. I said before the year, the Buffalo Bills didn't reload enough. That was my kind of big nugget with them, is did they reload enough to go and make a Super Bowl run? Through the first 4 weeks, it looked like yes. Now they've played a competent New England run defense, a competent New England team. It looks like a little bit of a different team out there. Cook was running all over everybody. He only had 49 rushing yards in this game. Worst game of the year for him by a long shot. New England's good. Buffalo's really good. But it's time for me to see them away from home against a competent team. That's why I have them at 2. Strictly not proven enough to me. That's where I'm coming from there. Buffalo's still damn good, don't get me wrong. But of these three teams I'm ranking, they're number 2. Number 3, we finally can talk about them. The Philadelphia Eagles. Of these three teams, I have the Eagles as the third best. Or, I guess, of the three, the worst. This team is absolutely still elite. Miles and miles on end, they're elite. But right now, I have the Lions ahead of them due to their complete, and the Bills ahead of them, due to the Eagles' complete breakdown offensively. How do you give the best running back in the NFL 6 carries in a game? That should be 6 carries in a freaking quarter. I get it, you're playing the Broncos. I get they have a good running defense. But my God, Kevin Patullo, get your head out of your you-know-what. Give your best player the freaking rock. And yeah, he was involved in the passing game. He had a big passing touchdown or receiving touchdown. I get it. Let your running back, who is a running back for a reason, touch the rock on the ground. I don't care who you're playing. He needs more volume. The Eagles throughout the season have kept, finding a way to win when needed in all 3 phases. But at some point in the league, in this league, in the NFL, you can't bank on that success. At some point, you have to solidify a game early or solidify a game just not super, super late and be complete in all 3 phases. They've relied on one phase more than all of the 2 other phases, week in and week out. Oh, his special teams this week. Oh, his defense this week. Oh, his offense this week. They have not put it fully together. And yeah, they've kept finding ways to win, except that time here it came to bite them in the butt. This is the NFL. It won't keep happening. At some point, you will lose that game when it's not fully complete. And you keep barely piecing it together. The difference between them and the Bucs is that the Bucs have looked offensively fantastic. They've had the ability to score when needed, right? The Eagles score in various ways, yet then they stall out. They're stagnant. That's the big issue here. Barkley's averaging 53 rush yards a game. A.J. Brown's averaging 39 receiving yards a game. He only has 19 catches in 5 games. Quick math, that's less than 4 catches a game on average. They're 30th in the NFL in offensive yards per game with 261. Eagles have given up 15 sacks, which is 9th worst in the NFL. Kevin Patullo, first time as OC in his career. That's obviously what it boils down to, is offensive consistency. You're not giving Barkley enough volume in the running game. You're not giving A.J. Brown the big enough ability to make plays. Hurts has looked inaccurate at times. Patullo, that lands on him. It lands on a little bit of the offensive line. The offense, just worrisome all over. And obviously, the players are there. They just won the freaking Super Bowl. And basically all the players remain. Goddard, Brown, Smith, Barkley, Hurts. They're all still there. Kevin Patullo's offense needs to figure this thing out fast. Or this team will continue to drop games. They will. So they need to figure things out, plain and simple, and it starts with giving Barkley the frickin' rock. That's why of these 3 teams, I have them listed at 3. My current order for these 4-1 teams, I have Lions 1, Bills 2, Eagles 3. Moving into our last big segment of the show, I'll keep this one pretty quick, but I have to bring this up. Is the NFL the most balanced it's been in several years? I ask you that question. Is the NFL the most balanced it's been in many, many years? Let's dive into this before I give you a yes or no, if I even give you one. This is the first time since 2014 that no team is undefeated after Week 5. There was not an undefeated team after Week 5 for the first time since 2014. Obviously, we had the Brady, the Breeze, the Peyton Manning, the Rodgers era of football in the past 2 decades, combined in there. Roethlisberger can be thrown in there as well. Rivers. And since that tide turned, it was now Mahomes, Lamar, Josh Allen, a little bit of Joe Burrow, a little bit of Matthew Stafford, big names like that. And others, have taken over that role of dominance in the regular season and at the quarterback position. Emphasis on Mahomes, obviously, with the Super Bowls there and a little bit of Stafford. You're used to entering a season with the top dog, right? And maybe you entered it this season with potentially the Ravens, potentially the Bills, potentially the Eagles, potentially the Chiefs, right? And those are all fair analysis and fair takes to have before, entering the season. But usually you go into the season and that's top dog. Oh, there's Brady with the New England Patriots. Oh, there's 2019 Mahomes. Like, you're not stepping on them. You're not messing with them. Ain't no way. As this season's progressed, that has faded. That thought has faded. And the NFL has always been balanced, and it always will be, But there isn't a main big dog this season, especially through 5 weeks, that's been incredibly different than the worst team in the NFL. There hasn't been this massive disparity between the best team and the worst team in the NFL this season. And while that's relatively a common theme, it is the NFL after all. There's only 32 teams. They all have the same cap amount, right? There's no monetary skill difference here compared to like baseball or even basketball, right? They're all spending roughly the same amount of money. That being said, there is not much disparity this season between the best team and the worst team. In years past, with Brady's teams, Mahomes' teams, Peyton Manning's teams, Drew Brees' teams, Aaron Rodgers' teams, there was always a little bit more disparity. A little bit of these teams are pretty terrible. These teams are very much elite. You're not going to really touch these teams. This year, it's a lot more combined. Why is that? It feels like this year, anybody can beat anybody. And again, most seasons it feels relatively like that, right? Oh, this 8-4 team can lose to this, 2-10 team. Yeah. But usually those, 8, 9, 10, 11 win teams aren't falling to those 1, 2, 3, 4 win teams. This season, that's different. It's happening more, it feels like at least, more common than previous years. And the main reason for that is because all teams have shown a weakness. There is not a fully complete NFL team this year. The Chiefs in years past have been fully complete. The Eagles last year were absolutely a fully complete team. Again, all those Brady teams were basically fully complete. All the Super Bowl ones, at least. Very much complete. And you knew that going into the season. Going into this season, we all thought the Philadelphia Eagles were the most complete team, and encompassing the whole NFL, they probably still are, but they're vulnerable. They are vulnerable. Every team has shown a weakness this season, a flaw. And in years past, you haven't always seen that. Yeah, teams have lost, right? They haven't gone completely unbeaten. Mahomes has still lost. Hasn't had a perfect record the past 7 years. They've never had one. And they've had games where they've lost. But there hasn't been some overarching flaw with that elite top dog team. This year, every team has a flaw. The Eagles' flaw is clearly what we just talked about, the offense. The Chiefs' flaw, offensive line. The Ravens' flaw, they can't stop an offense to save their life. Their defense is bottom 3. It's terrible. It's awful. So all these major teams, the Lions, their defense has a lot of question marks as well. Every team has a flaw. Every team has a point that you can look at and say, that's why they're not the best team. And in years past, I feel like personally that has been different. So, in years past, you would overshadow those flaws, right? Maybe they're there, but you overshadow those flaws with previous success and subconscious knowledge, knowing that flaw would get worked out very fast by guys like Brady and Manning and Rodgers. Yeah, you're going to drop a game. Okay, they didn't play great this game. What was the flaw? Drops by the wide receiver. Okay, next game, what do? They come out, they fix the problem, it's changed. This year feels different. It feels different this year. It's more competitive. The worst team and the best team are much closer than it feels like in years past. And no team this year is 100% complete. That is why I think this might be the most balanced NFL season we have had in several years. It makes this league and this season so interesting and even more exciting. What do you think? Yes or no? Is this the most balanced the NFL has been in years? To me, it's yes, because every team has a notable flaw, and there's not that top dog because of it. Let me know what you think. Wrapping this all up, Swank's Banks, 15-14 record now on the season. We need Chiefs money line for that to move to 16-14. We went 3-2 so far in week 5. We'll touch a little bit more on Swank's Banks on Thursday morning's episode. Let's get that Chiefs win, though. And this wraps up our Monday night/Tuesday morning episode of the Swank Tank, episode 13. Really appreciate you all tuning in. Hope you enjoyed your week 5. Have a big time episode coming out your Thursday morning. You don't want to miss it. Hope you like this little different type of episode I threw at you. Probably will have this kind of format moving forward. Really hope you enjoyed the start of your week. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Go and follow on all the socials. Let me know what you've been thinking. Answer these questions I've been giving you. Have a great start to your week. And we got week 6 coming up on the horizon. Have a good one.